Hey guys, what's up? Trying something a little different here. Doing video streams. I had a subscription to something and I canceled it. So I'm kind of working on a cheaper option here, so you can't see my lovely, beautiful face. So that kind of stinks for me and you and everyone, I suppose, although not really. So we're just going to be talking football, man. That's all we're doing. We're just talking football. So I want to bring up, I want to talk about something that we saw this past week, and it was a big play from the Packers. It was the Devontae Adams touchdown. In fact, we're going to start out with that. We're going to start out with a Devontae Adams touchdown, and I'm not really going to talk over it. This is Devontae Adams down at the bottom here. You can see him, and you can see how this ends up going. It's a back shoulder fade. It's a back shoulder fade. It's a deep back shoulder fade, but that's all it ends up being. So that's the play. We're going to be talking about kind of how the Packers built up to this a little bit and how they kind of helped to set this up. And so we are going to start way back in week 3 of the 2019 season. Now, this is a play, if you've been following me, if you know me very well at all, you'll know that I've talked about this play, this concept a lot. This is the first time I remember seeing it was this Broncos game from week 3 2019. It's been dubbed the cheese wheel. I can't remember, someone else came up with that. And I love the idea is amazing. The phrase is amazing. It's not technically a wheel, but I keep calling it that. So I generally will draw stuff on these images. I'm not drawing anything in these images this time. I'm just going to go ahead and talk about what it is, and because we're going to have 3 examples, and then the one we just showed, and it's all going to make sense, but I don't know that I need to draw on these. So the general idea is we're going to have, and last year was Vitali, and so you'll have slightly different versions of this, but the mechanics are roughly the same. So you got Vitali here as he got back in I formation, Jones is behind him, and out here is MVS. Now, the mechanics of the cheese wheel, how they generally will run it, or run the variations off of it, will be you take the man on the edge. In this case, this is MVS. You run him and you angle him in. You're taking away that safety, but you're also angling him, and if they have, kind of a guy out here or something, that he can run with that as well. And then this man here, now in this case, he's going to run him through the line. There's no motion here, but we'll see that change in a little bit. Vitali's going to release through the line. Looks like a power run out of I, and then just release up the seam. I say it's not a wheel because it's a fullback vertical up the seam here. So angle in, outside. That's the mechanics of this. That's the mechanics this always is. Or always has been. You can see his angle in, see him angling in, and then Vitali release. Now in this one, this was amazing. This is the first time I remember seeing this out of them. I think this is a safety up here trying to get him, and you can see him trying to meet him in the hole, and then Vitali just flies past him. So Rodgers ends up thrown over the top, but you can see what this does. It's this in pushing route here. You've taken away now the boundary corner. We'll run this again. You're taking away the boundary corner. And you're taking away the safety. So you're opening up that boundary and just running a vertical behind it. So that's the mechanics. That it's simple. That's the mechanics of the cheese wheel that we have here. There we go. Again, not a wheel, but we're calling it the cheese wheel. Vitali does not get a touchdown. He's ruled down like inside the 1 or something. But that's how that looks. So we're gonna now move to the fifth game, week 5 of 2019. This is against the Cowboys. You'll see this is a very familiar look. We got Vitali here. We got MVS on the side. Now the result is going to end up being different, but I think it's interesting to look at again the mechanics, the pre-snap, the post-snap, kind of how they're running this, and especially with MVS out here. This is what we're focusing on, is kind of the motion of this guy out here. So let's look at that. We've got, now this time Vitali does do pre-snap motion, which we will see in the Niners play from this past week. We got this little pre-snap motion. You got them kind of looking at it a little bit, and what they end up doing, again, in pushing from the edge to take away that safety and that boundary, and you're running that over here. Now, what the Packers end up doing here is this is a variation off of that, because you're playing off of this, and instead you run this screen under here. So you can see Vitali, if you just watch Vitali here, what he's going to do is, even instead of the vertical, this is more of a wheel. He kind of sells that flat, then goes up. But really what they're doing is on this particular play is they're looking at the Cowboys to look for that vertical, because they showed that. I think they showed it in week 4 as well. Actually, I can't remember. I wasn't pulling that up, but you're looking for them. You're looking to take this away, and then you hit them underneath. So they run that cheese wheel, and then you run that screen underneath, and Jones has room to move a little bit. I think this is the play where he shakes Van Der Esch out of his boots a little bit there. Yeah, makes him fall, which is awesome. That's always fun. Anyway, so we've got that. We're now going to move to Week 7. Week 7 of 2019. Week 7 of 2019 is the Raiders game. You know this as Rodgers, the 158.3 QB rating in this game. And we're going to be running it on this side now. He's going to come out over this way. Again, another variation, but the mechanics are roughly the same. We've got Kumaro this time as your outside receiver. And we're going to watch what he does. So there's a Zard motion. Bam. Take the boundary away. Push inside. Run at the safety. Release out here. So there he goes. A little shorter one that time. He doesn't wait till he gets down the field, but you can see all the space it opens. Again, Kumaro. Push inside. Look, see how he hits that inside shoulder? He's pushing in. He's pushing in, trying to take away the middle, trying to take away the safety, and that opens up the boundary. All right, so we just looked at 3 examples of this, right? All from last year, we looked at 3 examples of this, and the mechanics again. There's little differences, and there's a whole bunch of different variations they'd run off of that. Instead of the vertical route from Vitale, they'd cut them off on a flat route or something, so that you've got the defense kind of sagging back there, and so you've got these little variations, you've got these things. But what's consistent in every single time I've seen them run this, and I don't have the count in front of me, but going back to last year, I feel like they've run this, at least 10 times. The mechanics are always the same for that boundary receiver. Always the same. You're pushing at the inside shoulder. You're pushing in. You're basically clearing the boundary, tying up the safety, and then you release that fullback, that up back, up the boundary. Always the same. Mechanics are always the same. So now we have here. Now we looked at this play earlier, and we know this play as Davante Adams gets open for a deep back shoulder fade, right? Which is true. That's exactly what he ends up doing. But now we've got a little more context to that. So we're going to look at the route from Davante Adams here. Again, I haven't drawn anything on here, but you get it. You get it. We've got this little listen. This is John Lovett now. This is not Vitale. Vitale's gone. So this is Lovett back here, kind of doing his little pre-snap motion. You've got this guy out here. The mechanics tell you in pushing. So we're going to watch this route from Adams. We're going to watch how that the defender who starts backing up, how he plays this. Adams starts. He doesn't do his release at the line. He's not looking to get inside or outside. He's pushing inside, right? He's pushing inside. And so you can see him. You can see this guy here kind of pinning him. Like he's looking on the inside because he knows how this works. He knows how this looks. He's looking to the inside a little bit. So then Adams goes outside on him. Once Adam goes outside, Rodgers, the ball's already in the air at that point. See, ball's in the air, let's see, like immediately. Like as Adams is cutting to the outside, ball's in the air because you're banking on the Niners having seen this before. They're looking at it. They're looking at this inside push. This guy's he's looking at that a little bit more, which opens up that outside. So then Adams jumps over the outside. Ball goes to the outside, and a great throw from Rodgers ends up getting the touchdown there. So I'll keep running it here just because we have the second angle here as well, which is a beautiful angle for this touchdown. So I just kind of run that a little bit. It's not a super deep dive into this at all, but I did want to kind of just show, hey, this touchdown that was a beautiful, beautiful touchdown was set up by over a year's worth of work of running this concept, running the same mechanics from that spot, from that outside receiver spot. It's always pushing inside. So now you've got the defense looking for that a little bit. And then once you go outside, they're not really prepared for that, and you have a little sliver of an opening there. So I just kind of want to show that just a tiny example, I think, of how the Packers specifically, but how teams in general will just run these core concepts, run these staples over and over again. Again, little wrinkles here and there for the Packers, and those little wrinkles were always in the form of what is that up back doing? What route is he doing? Well, now here's another wrinkle they have, and the other wrinkle they have is this outside receiver, for the first time since they've been running it, is not running at that safety, is not running to the inside, he's now running to the outside. So that worked here as a really good variation, as a really good counter, tendency breaker here to run this counter to how they'd run it, and it netted them a big touchdown. This was the opening touchdown here, so it netted them a big touchdown. But beyond that, you now have defenses who have seen this thing for over a year now have this concept in their mind of, okay, well, now they can go outside as well. And so then how does that change how the defense play that? How do they view that once they kind of see that guy going in motion and they start seeing the setup of, oh, this is the fullback or the up back vertical up the sideline here. How does that change how they look at that? So I thought just kind of a fun look, just kind of going back to last year. So I hope hope you guys dug it. This was kind of fun for me to kind of dig back into because it's a fun concept and it was fun to see this. So, yeah, I mean, I guess I hope you